back. You are listening to Art Fusion, the art and music radio show, Saturday at noon, Talk 1260 AM KTRC and 103.7 FM Santa Fe News Talk Leader. I am Ron Whitmore. We're recording this live from the front of Artisan, and all of Jim Oliver's pieces have not been manipulated, they've not been retuned, remastered, remixed. This is just live from a Roland RD100 keyboard. I've never heard that kind of sound come out of my keyboard, so it's an honor to have you playing my keyboard, Jim. And we have Kevin Macpherson as our visual artist, and you know, it's so hard in the time that we have to really, people that have careers like Jim and Kevin, I highly recommend that you go to Kevin's website, kevinmacpherson.com. He has all his books, he has what he's doing, where he's teaching, his book, Conversations with Nature. Even if you're not an artist, I highly, highly recommend that you get it, because you're going to get really simple wisdoms that are going to make you be able to see light, see shadows, see color, and even if you never pick up a paintbrush, it's going to change the way that you look at the world. It's a fantastic book, and I'm only 3/4 through it, so I can't wait to see what the other quarter is. But I have a question that I'd like to throw out to both of you, because I read in Kevin's book that following your muse, you found your muse at a very young age. It had to be challenging. I mean, were you encouraged to be an artist? I mean, that's a difficult, it's kind of like, you know, when you tell you're going to be a rock star, and it's like, oh, you're really going to be a rock star? You better get a day job, you know, and it's like, but I would like to throw this out to both of you. First, you, Kevin. How important has been, and what has it taken for you to follow your muse your whole life?
Actually, the encouragement, it does come, you know, when you have a bit of a natural talent for drawing or music. You know, people around you, your family and friends and adults and comrades will, you know, appreciate what you're doing. But, you know, my father, I like to say that his famous saying was, "You can't do that." And it was the lack of aspirations, I think, that gave me the ability to follow my true path. You know, so I didn't have someone saying, you need to be a doctor or a lawyer.
You just had a dad saying you can't do it?
Yeah, I had a dad who didn't care if I did anything. He didn't really want me to go to college because it would have cost me money, you know, him money. So he really had no goals for me. And so I was always very goal-orientated myself, and I didn't really have any other skills. So I just knew that art was my path.
And you started at a young age drawing, had some success, got into galleries.
I didn't really have any great instruction until I went to Northern Arizona University and studied illustration under a great instructor, Chris Magadini, that really instilled discipline and pushed me in the right direction. And today we're still friends. And, you know, and I think that's the big part. So sometimes having people push you in a direction. You know, even musicians, you hear that they play music and they get the lessons and they're so forced upon it, sometimes they back away from it.
Yeah.
And so fortunately, I have always been very self-motivated, and like I say, I don't have any other skills, and I just continue. To this day, I find that my art career and my goals and my visions and the way it's evolving into different subjects and genres, and you know, started doing watercolor recently and portraits recently. I'm so enthused today as much as I was when I was 20.
I was really impressed. Wanda handed me a book of some Chinese work that you had done, a portraiture, and you've always been known as a landscape artist, and unbelievable, great portraits. So I encourage people to check out your website. Jim, same question to you. When did you know, how did you know that music was going to be, you could actually make a living at it?
Oh, I'm still trying to figure that part out. But I knew music was my life very early. I was 3.5 years old listening to my uncle play piano and organ, and this sparkling gold energy came through the wall and over the instruments and came into me, and my body shivered. And from that point, I mercilessly bugged my parents to take piano lessons. And I started piano at about 5, and I played 2 or 3 hours a day all the way through junior high school, played in, pop bands.
You were practicing 2 or 3 hours a day on
every
keyboard?
Every day, as a kid.
How often were you practicing painting, Kevin?
I just did it all the time myself, and I remember even in college, I didn't go away on the spring break. I just drew for the 10 days, everybody was off.
That's it, yeah. In college, you have to get ready for your organ performance. I was a classical organ major, and I would practice 8, 10, 12 hours a day at the church. Bach is really complicated.
So I think there's a lesson out here. I mean, both the individuals today have reached incredibly high levels in their respective careers, but it didn't come that easy. There was a lot of practice, a lot of dedication. I think when you follow your muse and you know it and you put the time in, because, I mean, to paint a painting like is behind me doesn't happen overnight. It's all those hours of practice and painting and painting and painting, and probably throwing away a few paintings too. And same way with Jim, to be able to improvise on the piano like that is such an incredible gift. But you practiced since 5 years old. So, and we only have time for one more song, unfortunately. So we're going to get a song from Jim. But I really want to thank Kevin Macpherson for coming on to the show.
Thank you, Ron.
And I really encourage people to look at kevinmacpherson.com at the books available. This book, Conversations with Nature, is unbelievable. And JimOliverMusic.com. And you have a concert you're performing tonight for the summer solstice worldwide.
Yes, it's a live stream. And we do live streams about every month. So check out what we're doing at the Harmonies of Light tab of JimOliverMusic.com and join us for one. They're quite amazing.
Well, thank you both. And can you honor us with one more tune?
You bet. Thank you.
Thank you.
In the same, breathe deeply, breathe into the music, and allow your energy to flow and soar, and allow the music to be the guide and your companion as you travel through your journey in life.
Wow. Jim Oliver. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Jim. You've been listening to Art Fusion, the art music radio show, Saturday at noon, Talk 1260 AM KTRC and 103.7 FM. We'll be back next week.